very good shape, so he is living the caveman lifestyle. ArthurDevaney.com. Mark Sisson is he has a blog with information and a cookbook. MarksDailyApple.com. Like I assume an apple a day keeps a doctor away. Very bright.
He's primal though, so that's a little different.
Okay. Primal's a little bit different. There's we can go into that, discuss some other topics. We have to do the Primal Blueprint book 1 month, so we'll work on that. They're similar. Sarah Fergoso, thank you for the pronunciation. A busy mom that has amazing recipes, and her website is everydaypaleo.com. So if you're in a family unit with maybe like 4 kids or something like that, so some good suggestions on how to cook for your kids. Everydaypaleo.com, that one. Dr. Lauren Cordain, looking for science. So if you're real big into chemistry and all that type of stuff, you love that stuff, then you can go there. ThePaleoDiet.com. PaleoBrands.com was mentioned in this book. They'll actually ship paleo meals right to your front door for, if you really don't even want to deal with the grocery store and you have that type of expendable income. I can only assume it's slightly expensive. PerformanceMenu.com was another one that Rob mentioned. Again, like I said, there is no lack of information, recipes, and all sorts of different food out there that you can find. The Paleo Diet for Athletes is a book that they talk about. Again, you don't have to be like really overweight or have a lot of health issues to do this type of stuff. There's a lot of athletes that are getting into doing it. So there's some modifications there, of course. Like if you're burning like several calories and doing some different, you're training for certain events or anything like that for a more active population. And there's MoveNat.com. I checked out this book a long time ago. A friend of mine who was a real outdoorsy type guy sent me this website. It's called MoveNat.com. Move Natural.
Is that what they want?
What? Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like people climbing on things and climbing trees and doing caveman type activities. It's just really interesting. But there's a lot of good stuff that goes on there that is good if we act more like cavemen. So go paleo and reverse the trend. This is goes back to the beginning of our lecture. So we have our guys here. We've got our fat guy, and then we're changing him into a more fit guy that we had back here. So that's what we're trying to do. Go from a heavier society to people that are a little bit more in shape by going paleo. All right. Well, does anyone have any questions or additions to what we've talked about this evening?
I didn't get to the exercise section. Did he talk about what like chronic cardio does for cortisol levels?
Like steady state cardio for cortisol levels? I'm not remembering anything specifically right now, but
It increases your cortisol level, and then the cortisol turns your muscle mass into proteins. Does that sound familiar?
I know, like steady state cardio will start. You'll change your muscles, and your body will start to use your muscles for fuel, and break that down so that your body can use it. Like that's good. And again, going back to our marathon runners, they don't look really muscular. It almost looks like somebody's eating their muscle away, right? So we can expect that. That's their training. That's what they do. They just do lots and lots of steady state running that no caveman ever did. If you ran like probably more than 300 yards in caveman times, you either got away or you got eaten. Like either one. So you're not going to run for 26 miles. The animal's going to give up.
That's my question. I want to know what is the threshold of cardio?
Well, that's a good question. It's tough to say. Like right now, like I'm doing some steady state cardio, so I'm not doing this. I'm training for a 15K race, and it's a specific event that I want to do. So he talks about it in the book. Like if you're a runner, you don't have to stop. If you're training for a race, you don't have to stop doing stuff. But if you remember from the slide, adding in interval training where you're sprinting for a while and then walking for a while has been shown to increase your VO2 max. So if you mix that in and do that, you'll have better oxygen absorption through your body, and it will make you a better distance runner. I don't know if there's a specific threshold where is a mile too much, or what happens to my cortisol levels at a mile, 2 miles. Take a little bit of a look. I'm sure there's some information on the internet about that. Nothing really mentioned in the book, but I think he encourages you, if you want to do that, if you're a marathon runner, he probably doesn't encourage you to be a marathon runner, but if you're like doing 10Ks or 15Ks, you want to train for an event, that's okay. Mix in some other stuff. Mix in some push-ups. Do some squats. Don't just run. Don't just do the steady state cardio.
And it depends too, because on body type. Because if you've ever read the book Born to Run, there's a tribe in Mexico that they run barefoot 30-40 miles a day every single day. and they're, you know, still have solid muscle mass, and they're still doing that much cardio running. So I guess it really depends on your body type more than anything.
And your goals. And your goals.
Yep. Yeah. And your goals. So it depends on what you want to do. You know, so if you are someone who enjoys running and likes that, you know, maybe you gear more towards some of the nutrition type stuff. The nutrition stuff is going to help you, but you can still do some of the running stuff. And you have to make decisions on that, and like kind of take what you're interested in and what you want to do. But you know, that's just it's one viewpoint on exercise.
I think what he says a lot too in his podcast, or he has to throw a really broad net. So he tries to pick something that's going to work for a majority of people. It's not going to work for everybody, but you know, for a majority of people, if you do his plan, where he says, you know, take out nuts, legumes, he says he kind of varies on nuts, and carbs, and any kind of insulting thing to your gut for 30 days. If you don't look, feel, and perform better in 30 days, you know, you first of all be pretty surprised, but second of all, you might be one of those people where something else is going on, where maybe nightshades irritate your gut and you didn't get any healing because you ate tomatoes and peppers the whole month and you didn't know that was irritating to you. And then there's always the people that eat crap and look ridiculous. I mean, anybody that played a collegiate sport knew somebody on their team that was like, wow, I hate you because you literally don't even lift and eat crap, and just genetically they're turned on. And then there's people that work as hard as they can and are strict as they can on their diet, and it doesn't work out the way that they want it to. So there's a lot of genetic variation in that problem. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. So much like anything or any topic, so like one thing's not going to work for everybody. You know, like I agree. But I think we're you know, Rob really focused on is not so much like people that are doing a lot of running. You know, he talks in the beginning of the book about why he got interested in this. He became a vegetarian and he got like ill. You know, like that's really what kind of spurred him on to do it. He was like chubby, and it's like, well, I thought everyone, if you're a vegetarian, it's supposed to be great, you know, great for you. And he was like, his blood levels were terrible, and he just felt terrible. So I think this is focused for people that are having, you know, weight problems, you know, up to like being like morbidly obese, people that are having digestion problems, people that have, you know, colitis, diverticulitis, things that like their body is rejecting the stuff that they're eating, and we've been told for a long, long time, eat lots of grains. It's the bottom of the food pyramid. They have reversed that now, which is good. But you know, he takes it a step further and removes that from the food pyramid. But I think this book is really geared towards people that, you know, maybe aren't as healthy. And again, there's different books up there like, you know, Paleo for the Athlete and things like this. So there's probably more information in those resources that will let you know a little bit more. If I am an athlete, I do this type of stuff. I'm not, you know, obese, but I want to get the most out of this type of program. Any other questions or comments on paleo? So again, I encourage you to, you know, take more of a look at this. There's all sorts of information out and everything, and you know, take a look at our website. There'll be more information on our website. You can find this lecture on our website, and all of the information that was up there. If you didn't catch it, you can catch that on our website. And if you have any other information you want to send in to us and let us know about, I encourage you to do so. Thanks for coming out tonight, everybody.